Welcome to Bollywood Deep Dive from IndiaReview.com, your daily Bollywood news. Let's get into it. Let's dive right in because the box office is always a fascinating place to start, and the comedy train for Ajay Devgan's Dhamal 4 is still chugging along. It is. It's eyeing 135 crore in India after crossing 174 crore worldwide. The momentum might have cooled a little bit in its second weekend, but those are still really solid numbers for a comedy sequel. It proves yet again that audiences will show up for a reliable laugh. The Dhamal franchise is just one of those things, isn't it? It's comfort food cinema. You know exactly what you're going to get, and you get it. Absolutely. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's just trying to make the wheel as funny as possible. And speaking of strong performances, Alia Bhatt's Alpha is literally knocking on the door of the top 10 highest grossers of 2026. It's less than 1 crore away. That is so close. I feel like we should all just go buy one more ticket each to push it over the edge. Let's organize a group outing. It's such a great achievement for a film like that. It's been holding steady, finding its audience, and it really shows the power of word of mouth and a compelling story. It really does. It's not just about the big opening weekend anymore. A film can have legs, and Alpha has proven it has some serious running legs. Meanwhile, Akshay Kumar's Welcome to the Jungle has also been putting up its numbers, and we've got a Cocktail 2 in the mix as well. Lots of sequels and franchise films doing the rounds. It's the season of the sequel, which, speaking of major films, brings us to the one and only Shah Rukh Khan. Oh, now you've got that little sparkle in your eye. Go on. I do. The excitement is real. So King is reportedly entering its final phase of shooting. They have just one international schedule left, planned for August, and then it's a wrap. The final phase. That means we're getting closer. This has been one of the most anticipated films for what feels like forever. After the massive success he's had with his last couple of action films, the expectations for King are through the roof. And it sounds like they're pulling out all the stops for this final schedule. You don't just plan an international shoot for a few minor scenes. This is likely going to be a big, spectacular action sequence to round things out. The grand finale of the shoot for the grand finale of the film. It makes perfect sense. It's just amazing to see him in this phase of his career, completely dominating the action thriller genre. It feels like he's having the time of his life. He really does. And from one epic project to another, let's talk about Ramayana.
The scale of this film is just mind-boggling. Every time there's a new piece of information, it just seems to get bigger, right? This week, the producer, Namit Malhotra, was speaking at an event and shared his vision for the film. He basically said he will go to any extent to do justice to the story. That's a big statement, but for a film based on the Ramayana, it's the only statement you can make. The pressure to get this right must be immense. You're not just making a movie, you're handling a foundational cultural text. Exactly. He talked about how it's a story that belongs to everyone, and how the goal is to present it in a way that resonates with the global audience while staying true to its roots. He seems incredibly passionate and dedicated, which is what you want to hear from the person steering the ship. You absolutely do. With Ranbir Kapoor leading the cast and this level of commitment from the producers, it feels like they're genuinely aiming to create a cinematic landmark, not just a blockbuster. I'm cautiously but very optimistically excited. Me too. It's one of those projects you just hope and pray they get right, because if they do, it could be something we talk about for decades, for sure. And from grand epics to grand comedy, we have to talk about Farah Khan. Oh, I love where this is going. She was on her cooking show with Pratik Gandhi and took the most hilarious gentle dig at Karan Johar. It was perfect. She was talking about his office location and said, "That is an upper Juhu. This is proper Juhu." The specificity is what makes it so funny. Only in Mumbai could you have a debate about the geographical and social nuances of one suburb. Proper Juhu is such a statement. It's the kind of affectionate ribbing that only two people who have known each other forever can get away with. It's not mean-spirited, it's just pure, funny observation. It left Pratik Gandhi in splits, and honestly, me too. It's that classic Farah Khan wit. She's so sharp and quick, and it's always delivered with a smile. It's nice to see that kind of easy, fun banter. It really is. It's a little peek behind the curtain at these long-standing industry friendships. And speaking of industry observations, Kajal Agarwal had some really interesting things to say this week. She did, and it sparked a lot of conversation. She was talking about the differences between the South and Hindi film industries. One of the most quoted lines was about how South Indian films are no longer obsessed with female navels, which is quite a specific and evocative point. It's a very specific point, and it speaks to a larger shift in how female characters are portrayed. It's a shorthand for saying the male gaze is perhaps evolving, or at least the cinematic languages. It's a really sharp observation.
I thought so too. But the comment that really got people talking was about punctuality. She said Bollywood could learn a thing or two, and then she mentioned that the longest she ever had to wait on a set was for Salman Khan.
Oof, that's a bold statement.
It is, but she said it very matter-of-factly. It wasn't framed as a huge complaint, more as an example of a cultural difference between the industries. And let's be honest, stories about punctuality, or the lack thereof, have been a part of Bollywood lore for a very long time.
It's true. It's one of those industry quirks that everyone sort of knows about. But it's interesting to hear it from an actor who works so extensively across different industries. It gives it a different weight.
It does. And speaking of Salman Khan, he is officially returning to host Big Boss 20.
Of course he is. Can you even imagine a season of Big Boss without him at this point? He is as integral to that show as the house itself.
Pretty much. The big news this year, though, is that for the first time ever, all 6 regional editions of the show are going to premiere simultaneously. That is a massive undertaking.
Wow, that's a huge content push. It's like a nationwide Big Boss festival. I can already imagine the social media frenzy. It's going to be wild. And you know the contestant rumor mill is already in full swing.
It's spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Santi Sharma, Nia Sharma, the lists are out and the speculation has begun. It's a whole cottage industry.
It truly is. It's the annual Who's Going in the House sweepstakes.
Exactly. Now, let's pivot from the future of television to a classic piece of cinema's past.
Oh, a nostalgia trip. Where are we going?
We are going back to college with 3 Idiots.
All is well.
All is well. The film is being re-released in cinemas on September 4th. Can you believe it's been that long?
It feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago all at once. That film was such a cultural phenomenon. It wasn't just a movie, it was a conversation starter. It changed how people talked about education, parental pressure, and following your passion.
It absolutely did. And it's one of those films that is endlessly rewatchable. I think it'll do really well with this re-release. People will want to experience that magic on the big screen again, maybe even take their kids who weren't born when it first came out.
That's a lovely thought. The re-release is part of a much bigger deal, actually. NH Studios has acquired the entire Vidhu Vinod Chopra Films catalog. That is a treasure trove of cinematic history. That is a huge deal. Think about all the iconic films in that library. It's a massive acquisition and ensures that these films will be preserved and presented for new generations. It's a really smart business move. It really is. It's a catalog worth its weight in gold. From iconic cinema to iconic television stars, we have to send our congratulations to Jennifer Winget. Yes, huge congratulations are in order. She got married. She shared these absolutely beautiful, dreamy wedding photos with her husband, William Ishmael. They looked so happy. It was a private ceremony in the UK, and the photos were just stunning. She's such a beloved actress, and you could just feel the collective joy from her fans online. Completely. It was a lovely surprise. Everyone was just so happy for her. It's always nice to see people share their joy like that, on their own terms. And speaking of beloved figures, we also got a health update from Amitabh Bachchan. We did. He shared an emotional post on this blog after his recent surgery. He was reflecting on strength and perseverance and hope. It's always a little worrying when you hear about him having surgery, but his spirit is just incredible. He's always so thoughtful and philosophical in his writing. You just find yourself rooting for him, always. Always. He's a true institution, and we just wish him a very speedy and complete recovery. His resilience is honestly an inspiration. It truly is. He's seen and done it all. Someone else who is marking a major milestone is Shah Rukh, who just completed 25 years in the industry. 25 years. That's incredible. And he gave a really candid interview reflecting on his journey. I found what he said really interesting. He talked about the pressure of being Jitendra's son when he was starting out. He said he was told he had to be acting when you're not acting also. That line really stood out to me. The pressure to maintain a certain persona, to be in the news, to go to all the parties, it sounds exhausting, completely. It's a fascinating look at how the machinery of stardom worked and the kind of pressure that was put on newcomers, especially star kids, to fit into a certain mold. It's refreshing to hear him speak so openly about it now. It is. It gives you a lot more empathy for what that experience must have been like. It's not just about learning your lines, it's about performing a public version of yourself 24/7. Exactly. And some people are better at navigating that than others.
It takes a certain kind of personality.
Definitely. Speaking of navigating public perception, Vijay Varma posted something that got people talking.
Yes, this was interesting. He had been posting his support for the student protests over the NEET controversy, and apparently he lost some Instagram followers because of it.
Right. And then he posted this cryptic message on his Instagram stories that said something like, "You don't have to tell everyone everything."
It's a tough spot for celebrities. People want them to use their platform to speak up about important issues, but the moment they do, they face backlash from those who disagree. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
You really are. It shows that even a seemingly simple act of posting a story can have consequences, and it forces them to think about how much of their personal conviction they want to share publicly.
It's a constant negotiation, and it's not just about politics. We saw Sahiba Bali, who was being linked with Arjun Kapoor, shut down the dating speculation and asked the media to instead focus on covering a protest that was being held in London.
Good for her. Using the attention that's on her to redirect it to something she feels is more important. That's a savvy move.
A very savvy and powerful move. It's basically saying, my personal life isn't the headline here. This other thing is.
Absolutely. Let's run through a few more quick but exciting updates. Music lovers, this one's for you. Arijit Singh is officially returning to sing for Imran Hashmi's Awarapan 2. The dream team is back. Arijit Singh and Imran Hashmi have delivered so many iconic tracks together. The title track for Awarapan 2 is going to be an event in itself. The anticipation is huge.
It really is.
And in some regional news, there's a lot of talk about Joseph Vijay's film Jana Nayagan. Since he announced his full-time entry into politics, this is being seen as his potential farewell to acting. That adds such an emotional weight to the film's release. It becomes more than just a movie. It's the end of an era for his fans. The stakes are suddenly so much higher. They really are. And on a happier note, fresh off his incredible national award win for Chandu Champion, Karthik Aaryan was seen seeking blessings at the Mahakaleshwar temple in Ujjain.
How lovely. That must have been such a special, grounding moment for him after such a massive career achievement. A moment of gratitude. A beautiful moment. And we also have to give a shout out to Mona Singh, who spoke about choosing meaningful roles over quantity. She said she doesn't want to play a woman who is just kept as a moral compass in the story.
I love that. It's such an articulate way of describing a trope we see so often. She's such a talented actress, and it's wonderful to see her be so intentional about the work she's doing.
She's fantastic. And for fans of gritty crime dramas, there's great news. Rangbaaz is returning for a 4th season on Z5, this time starring Mohit Raina.
Oh, that's excellent casting. He's perfect for that kind of intense, layered role. That franchise has been consistently good, so I have high hopes for season 4.
Me too. And we can't forget the world of reality TV. Things are heating up in Lock Up too, with new contestants entering just ahead of the finale.
They always throw a wrench in the works right at the end, don't they? Just to spice things up. Maximum drama for the final stretch.
You know it. And an old favorite is making a comeback too. Shekhar Suman reminisced about working with Rekha in the film Utsav.
Oh wow, that's a throwback. What did he say?
He was praising her professionalism, saying she was so dedicated and never complained about retakes or difficult scenes. He said, when there's an actor who walks around with a paraphernalia, it's a problem. But she was just all about the work.
That's such a great anecdote. It's always wonderful to hear stories about these legends from the people who actually worked with them on set. It paints such a vivid picture.
It really does. It's a reminder of the dedication that goes into creating that on-screen magic.
Absolutely. From on-screen magic to real-life wisdom, Hema Malini credited her 6-decade-long career success to the dedication she learned from her Bharatanatyam training.
That makes so much sense. The discipline, the focus, the physical stamina required for classical dance, those are all skills that would serve an actor incredibly well over a long career.
Completely. It's the foundation that everything else is built on. What a legacy, and what a packed week of news.
It really was. From box office numbers to epic film announcements and heartfelt personal stories, we've covered it all.
We certainly have. I think we've earned a break. Until tomorrow, at least.
Until tomorrow. Headlines to Heartbeats Tuck. You've been listening to Bollywood Deep Dive from IndiaReview.com. Come back tomorrow. Namaste.